Now we have. What is this show we're doing? I don't know why we're doing another show.
Because I'm an idiot, that's why.
Yeah, because this is show number 18 of the enormous UFO supercell, and Matt's here, but he's in his car. Why? Because his internet's deciding to be a bitch or something.
Yeah. My internet's deciding to not work as well as it usually has been. So,
are we talking about Mediacom internet or your phone internet?
Mediacom internet.
Yeah, I'm wondering because my Mediacom today, my cable guide isn't working, so I'm wondering if my internet's screwing around. Because I'm supposed to have 50 megs down and 10 up. Excuse me, I haven't checked it lately. I mean, as long as stuff loads fine, because I've been too used to it being way slower. So, but anyway, so Matt hasn't been on in like several episodes because we didn't do a show last week. Although you'll wonder, we did a show because we're doing this show the next day after we'd done the last show, but then we didn't do a show the week before that because of miscommunication. So prior to that, then there was the week before that where I was by myself because Matt wasn't available or something. So Matt hasn't been on in like almost a month.
Yeah, that's true.
So if we have to go through, because I mentioned this, I think it was on show 16, that I said that there was something that happened back at the beginning of the month that changed Matt's life.
Quite a bit.
So, and I didn't spoil it. I did spoil our fall.
Oh, really?
I did not spoil it. I did do our the fall foliage tour stuff, including the infamous 266 steps up the Platte Mound M, which I am never doing again. I do not care about the 266 steps to see the top of a big white M. But anyway,
the view, though.
That's nice. For 266 steps and 450 feet up, no. So,
okay, I'll give you that.
But anyway, this occurred, and I'll give the gist of this. I don't even remember when this was anymore. It was earlier in the month.
It's been kind of a whirlwind month, hasn't it?
Yeah, because let me look, because I'm gonna find this. It was
literally. It's been a whirlwind month.
Oh, okay. Stop. Okay. This was back on October 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Is when this happened. There was a severe weather episode that was going to be that Tuesday, the 4th, in Kansas.
Yep.
And we were like, ooh, let's go. So we left on late Monday the 3rd and drove to Kansas City in Matt's truck. Correct?
Yep. And that's where it all started off.
Oh, yes. And I haven't. Because then I lost my towel in the hotel in Kansas City. I'm still pissed about that. Luckily enough for me, I have 4 towels that are exactly like that still here.
Well, okay. That's kind of better.
Yeah, but anyway, we went down, up and down, we went through every Starbucks because the first thing that happened with this was Matt said, oh, we have to go to Starbucks so we can get Wi-Fi.
Yes, because my data wasn't working.
Which we found out later is because something messed up because we had data later. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So I saw about every Starbucks from here to Wichita. Including stuffing my face in Wellington, Kansas at a KFC because we wanted to stay there so we could use their Wi-Fi.
Which place was it?
So.
Which place was it, Jeff? The KFC?
The KFC in Wellington.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
where we had to start buying food every 10 minutes so then we could stay there. I'm surprised I did not have a stomach ache after this. But then, because we started driving back north, and the storms were starting to build. Remember? And we drove to the north and west side of Wichita, and we got onto 135, and we're going to go north towards Salina. And what happened, Matthew?
Well, we're driving along quite nicely. 75 miles an hour, I believe.
Something like that.
Driving along quite nice. Got 3 storms. I'd call it 20 miles to our west.
And then down.
All of them tracking roughly in our direction.
Yeah.
The way things have went, had they kept going the way they were going at the time, Tail End Charlie would have came right over us, or just barely to the north of us. So we were in a good position. We had a broken line of what we thought were supercells. 3 supercells.
Yeah.
Real nice. Real nice radar presentation. A little sloppy visually, but not bad. I wouldn't complain a whole lot about these storms. Were they gangbusters, absolutely insane, UFO supercell tornado storms? No.
Well, we might make a mention for what happened after the fact, but
yeah,
but
we'll slightly building. But we get on these storms, and we start thinking, well, let's double check one last time on Wi-Fi. Let's double check radar. Let's double check our data, just to make sure, because we were at the point where we needed to decide what our play was going to be.
Yeah.
Stay put, move north, drop south, that type of thing. So we notice, hey, there's a modern rest area a quarter mile ahead. Perfect timing. Based on our experience, all modern rest areas have Wi-Fi. We thought, perfect. Excuse me. As soon as I thought perfect, my truck dies. And it just shut off. It was kind of spooky how it happened, because we were just literally driving along, no big deal. Truck's running smooth, no vibrations, no smell, no smoke coming out of tailpipe, no nothing. And then it's like I reached over and just turned the key right off.
Yeah.
Boom, just turns off. I thought, oh crap. I thought, maybe my battery had died or something.
Which we might make mention had happened a couple of days prior to this, but.
Yes. But, so we literally coast into the rest area. And I think, oh, okay, I'll probably be able to do something. In which case, I immediately retracted that statement, because I tried starting it and nothing was happening. The engine would turn over, but nothing was happening.
It was just going.
And so I thought, okay, I think we're in trouble.
No, we were.
So I start making phone calls and stuff. And Jeff, he's just looking around. You were just kind of looking around going, we're in a great place here. We got these 3 storms right next to us.
Oh, so, and while you're doing that, I'm going to show pictures.
Ooh.
Because I'll make a mention, because because I started taking notes. We got there at, I think, it's 4:45.
4:40 was when we actually coasted in. 4:40.
Yeah, 4:40. And we were there until we got towed out, which was much later, about almost
2 hours later-ish.
But
would you call it 2 hours later?
2.5 hours roughly, because it was after 7 o'clock. So we got to see, while Matt was doing his little, the truck's broken. We get to watch the storms kind of build up and die down. You can see this was taken, maybe 10, 15 minutes after we had gotten there.
Yep.
You see the storms. The clouds are really raggedy, but there's a good storm to the north. and that was severe warned kind of off and on. But we had other storms to the south. Meanwhile, Matt's calling everybody from Kingdom Come, calling tow truck operators from good wherever. The one that came was from Andover, surprise. But so then there's this storm right here. We're still at the rest area. This was probably 5:15 at this point, maybe 5:30.
Yep.
And then we started seeing lowerings like this one, which this was probably about 5:45, maybe about then. And this, is, of course, is what could be we couldn't see rotation from there. So I would say it's a non-rotating lowering. Looks like a wall cloud. We saw several of these because this was with the northern storm. There was the storm that was far off to the north, and then there was like another segment that had like 3 separate storms. This was the northern of the 3. And then it's still right here, right in there. And meanwhile, we're still waiting for the tow truck at this point because we had gotten the tow truck and the tow truck was coming. Unbeknownst to us, they went to the wrong place.
On the complete other side of town.
Yeah, we were north of Wichita. They went south of Wichita. But so then we saw this. This was the middle storm with another lowering. And this is about as good as they got. You saw a little lowering, some scud coming up, but we couldn't see rotation at all. And that's still the northern storm. Oops, that's the last picture because the next picture was Wichita the next day. But anyway. But it was the southern
that's
storm.
A clue, guys. That's a clue, folks. Wichita the next day.
Yeah, there's more. But
so we get the tow truck shows up, right?
As the southernmost storm is coming and it's starting to rain.
As Storm 3 is arriving into Wichita, we're on the northern flank of the storm. We're just starting to get into the rain on the forward flank, on the north side of the forward flank. So we hurry up, get loaded up, get our bags loaded, and we start driving south straight into the storm just as it goes severe warning.
It had already been severe warned, but we were driving right into it, and that was a little bit hair-raising.
Yeah.
The wind was probably, what would you say, 60?
60. There might have been a couple of gusts of 65, real brief, but
including
that's the extent of it.
The thing, and not knowing, we ran over something on the road, and we didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm. Straight up debris.
Yeah, and we saw some debris and some damage on the north side of Wichita.
Yep. Some trees down. Traffic lights were going down, laying on the ground. Real interesting time.
So we then got to where we towed it, which was the dealership. First, they were closed. So we had to spend.
What did we do?
We had to spend the night in the hotel.
We went to your favorite hotel in Wichita, the La Quinta.
Which is a hotel that I stayed in once. Yep. So
what's your favorite?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway. But, and we're kind of going off on this. All in all, we found out the next day that
I get a call at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's the service manager that I had talked to the night before. So he was already aware of what was going on. He was expecting us to come in with the truck. So he had one of his senior techs take a look, and they found out that my truck had a blown engine. And I don't think it was okay, we might be able to fix it. No, this was we need a new engine to the tune of, and I'm quoting the price quote given to me, $5,812.
And what
on top of that, 10 days of time
to
wait to get it done.
Yeah. I think, honestly, we'd probably still be waiting because this was on October 5th. So we would be talking about something on the order of Matt would have just gotten his truck back a week ago.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, so keep going.
Go ahead. Okay. So I start kind of going into panic mode a little bit mentally.
Which lasted about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So I start thinking, well, we're gonna need a ride home. I didn't want to rent a car because I'd have to get it back and I'd be without a car. So what do? I roll off the lot with about what do you call it? 6 hours later. Something like that.
And just as Matt says that, the sirens go off. So
yeah, right.
It's like
I'm kind of tucked into my car now.
I would say
I just gave the hint. I just gave it away just then with what I just said. But I bought a new car right there that day. Which is a very nice car.
Yes, because of the fact that right now Matt's in it and using the Wi-Fi from it, which is why I didn't specify why he wasn't with his MediaCom internet that he has or his phone internet, because he's actually in his car using its Wi-Fi. So that's what he's doing right now. I didn't want to spoil that because they'd be like, well, how does Matt have Wi-Fi?
Yep. So I ran into a sales guy. His name was Steve Williams. Real good guy. And we went through probably a dozen cars in those first few hours.
Yeah, the first car I think you sat in was the one you bought.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I bought a 2016 Chevy Cruze that was, believe it or not, used. It was for about, I think he said for about 8 months or so, or a year. It was a rental car from Enterprise. So it had a few miles on it, no big deal. But I took a test drive. I liked it, so first brand new car that I've ever bought on my own.
Oh, we have to do this. That you bought the car. You bought the car here.
Yep. I bought a Chevy at a Ford dealer.
Yes, and that's the end of that. Oops.
Which, by the way, I do have to give them a shameless plug. All of those guys down there that dealt with me were super, super nice, super, super professional. And they made what could have been a very, very harrowing experience a lot less stressful and a lot less, I don't know, not time consuming, but worrisome.
It was time consuming. I gave up by 5 o'clock and went back to the hotel. Let's just say that.
Well, by comparison to the alternative, it was not very time consuming, but they didn't make it worrisome. They took care of us, as best as they could. They were straightforward with us. So I think if you're ever in Wichita and you need a vehicle, it might not be a bad idea to get down there and give them a look, and try and find Steve Williams while you're at it, because he's the guy that helped me out. He's the sales guy that actually helped me out.
And it was his first day back at the dealership.
It was his first day back.
Yeah, his first day back there from having been at all the other dealerships around.
Yep.
I feel like I have to start doing a commercial now, because it's Rusty Eck Ford right next to East Town Square Mall, Wichita.
Yep. Right off of Kellogg Road.
Yeah, well, it's Kellogg. Yeah. Oh gosh, it's across from the La Quinta. It's across from the La Quinta and the Days Inn.
Yes.
And across the other street from the Longhorn, which we ate at one night.
That was the
night we got into town. The night where we towed the truck, we ate at Longhorn because we had.
Yeah, that's it.
And then So then here's no. Well, I'm going to get to that because while Matt was out running around trying to get his act together, because he spent most of the time getting his apps in order, and ooh, I have the app on my phone and whatever. While I'm doing that, I go back to the hotel and I find out the next day, Thursday, there's another severe weather risk, and it looks even better than Tuesday's. And I'm thinking, imagine this. What if we had said screw Tuesday and gone Thursday? Matt would have had his truck. We would have blown up somewhere, who knows where, and then we really would have been in a mess. It's almost like what Steve, the sales guy, said. Things happen for a reason. It's either him or Brandon. Brandon, whoever they
both said that, actually.
Yeah, they both said that. But things happen for a reason. So then we come to Thursday and we're thinking, okay, what's going to happen now? Well, we have pictures.
Yes, we do.
And I'm going to complain because I said this in the last show, which was last night, that I don't know why screen share is acting as like it is now, but it's really starting to tick me off.
Yes, I agree.
Because screen share, they changed it a little bit. Why is it acting up? Okay.
I'm going to send you a picture as well, Jeff, or two.
Or 10. Okay. I finally got this working. Okay. So this is and you can actually see in this picture my notes.
Yep. You can. That's funny.
Yeah. See, I take notes. Now, this is what's bad, because I said this on the show yesterday, show 17, that I take notes with storm chasing. I take notes for pictures. But then when I showed the fall foliage pictures, I was like, I don't know where this was. Especially for the ones when I went down to Macomb with my mother.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I know this was on Highway 67 south of Viola. I don't know. And this was in Highway 136 somewhere between Hamilton and Carthage. That's about the best I can do. Or Carthage and maybe Macomb. I don't know. That's about as bad as that, because I can't just be like, oh, I'm driving and I'm writing stuff. Okay, but first off, let me unshare that, because I don't. Oh yeah, we're gonna put that on there too. Oh, there's a picture of Matt's car there too. But we're gonna get to that when we get to that, because we haven't gotten to that part yet.
Whoops! I sent you a video.
You sent me a video where?
On Messenger.
You sent
on Google Messenger, instead of a picture, it's a video.
Yeah, but it came out as a JPEG, and I have it here, and there's nothing here. It's just a picture.
It's still sending.
It shows the storm, and it shows your car.
Well, no, there's another one.
Well, I didn't get that.
It's on its way, but I meant to send a picture, but it's a video. But here's a picture. That's the picture I meant to send. Bing.
Yeah, and we're getting to that. So I gotta make sure I'm not losing all my things. Okay, and there's the video. Okay. We're getting there.
Sorry about that, folks.
Well, anyway, so back to, I hate this screen share. Good night. So next day we're driving. This was on 77 north of El Dorado. That road, it just looks like there's nothing there except its truck and my notes.
Yep.
And you could see the sky. It was cloudy that day. I remember that day, the morning it was cloudy, and the sky was kind of trying to clear. You can see that. You can see stuff that looked like that, but it looked, and it kind of was like, oh yeah, that's later. But it looked similar to that. And then kind of like a lot of this around. I don't remember when this was taken, but remember we drove. We got to the intersection of I-70, east of. It was halfway, just west of Topeka.
Yep.
And that was our deciding moment. It ended up being our worst moment. Found out much later. It was either go south to a storm that was tornado warned. It was about an hour and 20-minute drive south. Or go to storms that were just starting on the dry line to the west, which would have been an hour to our west. We decided to go to the storm that was to the south because the storms to the west look linear. What ended up happening? The storms off to the west all became tornado warned, and some of them had huge tornadoes. We went south, which is what we're going to show. Now, the picture I showed this earlier, this was the storms off to the west. This was taken as we had already gone south. We drove south. We did the Mike Morgan.
Yep.
So this is what the storms look like from 50 miles away.
50, 60 miles away.
And you can see the southern storm that we were going on. You can see the anvil of it was right over us. So we had this. This was the storm in question. It was kind of like a big glob because it became like a line segment. There was like several storms. Mm-hmm. And this was the storm in question because we drove down all the way to Iola, Kansas.
Yes, we did.
And of course, my camera is being bitchy. This is Iola, Kansas. That's the Super 8, and that's the highway where we exited and whatnot.
Yep. And
this is about to the point where we get to this nice smoothness, which I'm going to then show Matt's picture because Matt's picture is really good. You see the smoothness. Now, the first thing that caught my attention is if clouds look like this, it likely means this storm is elevated or it's a hybrid, meaning it's partially elevated and partially not. Because if it has this type of lenticular type formation, it's more elevated than anything. But, and I'm going to have to, wait a minute, I'm going to have to unshare mine so I can get to the one that I want to show.
Okay.
But, because I was seeing that, and I wasn't too sure what was going on with this, but this is, come on. This is the picture that we had. You can see the smoothness kind of right here, and you can see the bottom, the shelf cloud right there.
Very pretty storm, though. Very pretty storm.
So you can. This was really, it was really good because I took one right like that. See that I took about the same shot, but
yep.
But what you can see is this looks like the shelf cloud down here, and then you have kind of the winds blowing off, and then you have this weird formation right here, this line and this line, this line. This was a weird looking storm. Which really, and of course, what are we doing? We're on gravel roads and whatnot.
A brand new car.
Yeah, but this is what I was talking about. You can see the little wisps here, the line segments there, and you can see what looks to be the shelf cloud. Of course, is right here, but it looked like a really good storm. So we drove. This was looking west. This was outside of. Were we on the south? We were south.
This was outside of. This was just south of Gas.
Oh no, we were on the south side of the town. Remember, we were on that road and we had to drive south because we were going to be in the path. Yep. It was either south of Gas. No, it was south of La Harpe. We were on the south side of La Harpe, and then we had to drive south down a gravel road. You can tell we were not doing the right things. So I remember because there was lightning like crazy and whatnot, and we saw that. This was when we were stair-stepping storms. This is what it looked like. Scary as all heck. And this brings up the picture I want to show that Matt did. That. Hopefully it's showing up. But this is...
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. And by the way, there's Matt's car. Yep. Let's look at Matt's car. But right off the bat, you look at this, and where would you see the tornado? Over here or over there? And this was,
And that's where we had a bit of a difference of opinion.
we had an argument.
Not even really that, because both of our ideas, I think, were solid, correct.
Matt was looking over here.
Yes.
I was looking over here because, as from watching some stuff and whatnot, this was the inflow. And I watched Skip Talbot's video. See this cloud, and it's pointing at what you're supposed to look at. It was pointing right here, where you have the shelf cloud kind of merging with this inflow. And it was merging right here. And that's what I was looking at. Whereas Matt was looking where he should have been looking, where it would normally have been. This storm was kind of occluding because I don't think it was a quite surface-based storm. It was kind of a hybrid storm because of the lenticular type formations and whatnot. It was kind of a hybrid storm because it was surface-based partially. But I was almost thinking if there was going to be anything, because I saw rotation over here. I saw the clouds over here rotating, which kind of gave me a little bit of fright. I didn't see what looked to be a wall cloud because it doesn't look like a wall cloud. It kind of just looks like you take the shelf cloud and you merges with this inflow notch, and it just looks a little strange. Because that's what I was looking at, which is, and this again, because the back to my pictures, that's where Matt was looking, because you can of course see if my mouse is showing up. You see a lowering down here, which was on the south side of what was the shelf cloud. Whereas I was looking over there, you can see the inflow. There's the shelf cloud, and it's kind of the shelf clouds being pulled in right here. It was at this point that they had said that there was a tornado on the ground about right here. Somewhere probably, if there was one, it was never confirmed. Sheriff NATO, cop NATO, whatever. It was likely in that area. And wait a minute, now I gotta do something. Everything's going on now. So let me figure out. I gotta. Okay. So yeah, Matt can't hear me, so I can make fun of him now. But anyway, so wait a minute, I gotta do this. So just bear with me. I'm figuring out how to do stuff and whatnot. So let me fix this. Okay. So of course we had the inflow, and we had this tornado where the Weather Service never found one. Maybe they have since then. It's been several weeks. I doubt it, but okay, now it's the last picture I took, because unfortunately we then had to get away from the storm, from it overtaking us. So, and Matt, if you can, and I'm gonna probably have to send you something. Okay. So Matt's gonna hopefully come back on. We'll see. Anyway, so we were trying to outrun a storm. What made it worse? And yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you.
What made it worse when I'm getting to the point where we were trying to get away from the storm.
Okay.
Because the tornado wasn't going to hit us. It was going to be the outflow boundary that would hit us, the RFD, because that's what was actually coming at us, was kind of RFD. And we went through where you shouldn't be going through. As some chasers said, we took our escape route, but our escape route was so bad, and so we didn't know where we were going. Gravel roads, low water crossings. We were lucky the low water crossings either had no water or very little water, because at the time we were going through these, they had just issued a flash flood warning for where we were. It hadn't started raining yet. So once we got to the paved road, which was Highway 59.
52, I think. Either
No,
52 or 59.
It was 59. 69 was when we were going back to Kansas City. And
Yep.
we went through this storm again. But we drove all the way to the next county down, and we were out of the storm because the storm went past us. And then we paralleled it and then went back into it. But by then, the rotation was gone. It was still there. But we were more concerned because Matt was going, I don't want hail on my car, because he was complaining about that. Like, he has every right. I don't want to have a brand new car and it's damaged.
Mm-hmm.
But what I remember more about, and this is something that pissed me off. This happened about the same time. I think it was us driving away from the storm the second time we were going into Fort Scott.
Yeah.
That stupid driver that didn't have their headlights on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That pissed me off. And I wasn't even driving. And I'm like, that is so incredibly dangerous, given the fact it was already near sunset. And the idiot didn't have the lights on. That pissed me off.
Yeah. And on top of that, they were driving into a pretty serious storm. It wasn't,
It was still severe.
5 tornado, but it was very dark. The storm itself made the sky extremely dark. It made it extremely hard to see. And he was driving into blinding rain with no headlights.
It wasn't raining yet when we saw him. We had just come out of the rain, maybe like 2 miles back.
Yep.
And we saw this person, and I'm thinking, and I remember we stopped, I think, once or twice. The lightning was prolific. It was prolific the whole way back. Because I remember this, because we had to drive, we core punched. Luckily, the storm was severe, but the hail core was dying, because we technically went through where the hail core was, and we didn't hear any. Doesn't mean there wasn't any, but but that blinding rain, the lightning. Remember the bolts we counted? So many of them. We started we said, oh, that's an 8. Oh, that's a 7. Oh,
Yep, we started ranking them.
There were so many bolts of lightning that were going completely across the sky. It made that was probably the most electrically charged thunderstorm I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
And that was based on the one we had a few weeks prior in northern Missouri, which was the best probably lightning through clear sky I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
That was the best presentation, but this storm took balls over that one.
Oh yeah. I can only imagine what that storm looked like in clear sky.
Yeah. And of course, when we got out of the storm, we had a thunderstorm to our east, and then we had another line of storms to the west, so we could see lightning from both of them. There were some cases we could see bolts in both directions, which was completely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, this led us to having to spend another night, because by this time it was nighttime, in Kansas City, and we ate at Cheesecake Factory.
Yum.
Poured rain the entire time we were in there.
Yep. You could for a while you could actually hear it over the crowded restaurant. You could actually hear it hitting the roof.
And we ended up going to the hotel. The Spring Hill Suites. Was it Spring Hill Suites? Yep. And you'd gone down, and I was on the phone with my mother, and there's big bolt of lightning hit outside, and there was this big crash of thunder, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And that scared me to death. And I'm thinking, when is this going to end? And I was on my phone with my mother, who is here, and she says, oh, it's doing the same thing here. Then it gets better. It gets better, doesn't it? Get better.
Yes, it does. Painfully better, but better.
Oh, it gets better. Matt comes back. into the hotel room and informed me, because I'm on the computer on internet looking at storms here, that there's a tornado warning near the Quad Cities. Lo and behold, what was happening down there, they were having a little mini tornado outbreak, and we were in Kansas City.
Yay.
And I don't know how many they counted, 4?
Yeah, 4 tracks.
And one of them went right through downtown Davenport, went up through Bettendorf. There was one near north of Muscatine. There was one on the south side, on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. And then
It was the southeast side. It went through the south side of Kelowna. That one.
Yeah.
I have yet to corroborate this claim, but it's from a fairly reasonable source. That one was apparently 800 yards wide.
Which, it wouldn't surprise me.
It was an EF1, so it was weak, but it was still it was 800 yards wide.
Yeah. So we missed that.
Yep, we missed wedges.
But
7 miles away from home.
So, but then this brings up a point, and I didn't think of this when I was doing the show yesterday. This is an interesting point. As of yesterday, the 22nd, because we're doing this on the 23rd on a Sunday.
Correct.
At this point last year, and I'll give this to Matt. Up until yesterday, we'll say the 22nd. How many tornadoes did Iowa have last year up until October 22nd?
If I had to throw out a random number, it would be a really low one. So I would guess probably 8.
Iowa had in 2015 up through October 22nd, 30.
Oh, wow.
How many did they have at the end of the year? 58. That means from this point to the end of the year, last year, Iowa had 28 tornadoes from October 23rd to the end of the year.
Oh, I had my time scale messed up. I apologize.
Yeah.
I had my time frame
messed up. But Iowa's had last year Iowa had 28 tornadoes, including an outbreak on Veterans Day, which had 19, which is a top 5 outbreak in Iowa.
That is.
So, and why do I mention this? For the fact because we were in Kansas, but I'm saying that severe weather season, given the fact that we're supposed to be still fairly warm, I mean 60, 65 is not warm, but 60 to 65 come November, because we're not that far from November, you're getting to the point that storms could be possible, especially when we're still above average for temperatures. So could we? And given that Matt is going to be leaving tomorrow night, while he's gone, we'll probably have tornadoes, and I'll laugh. Ha ha ha! He's missing in action.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But so that was interesting, and given the fact that I think I've been in his car more than he has, even though I haven't stolen it. So. But anyway, so he ended up getting a new car. I don't think he still has the plates for it, which
No, I do not.
Yeah, see, he's driving illegally. If you see a car with Kansas 60-day plates, then or papers on it, then it's Matthew.
Yeah.
See him daily. See him daily at the strip club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was our little trip to Kansas, which I'm still recovering, even though that's been what now 3 weeks. It'll be 3 weeks next week. Fun experience, but this brought up a point because Henry, who used to be a co-host on the show, he got stranded yesterday.
Really?
Bunch of friends, and his friend's truck stopped working. Doesn't this sound surprising?
Right.
And he got
sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, and he got stranded in Charles City. His sister had to come get him to take him home, And I mentioned that to him yesterday about, oh, well, at least I had thunderstorms to keep me company. Well, I got sleep because of your truck. It's almost ironic that it happened, but so Matt at least has wheels that'll actually turn and not fall off. He has an engine that's actually running and won't break.
Correct.
So we'll see if we see any more action this year. I don't know. I doubt we get a November outbreak again. We only seem to get November outbreaks maybe once every decade, and we had one last year. I don't think we're going to see December tornadoes like we did last year. I don't think I'm
right.
Yes, that's a Christmas present. Here comes tornadoes. Now maybe in the South, but here, probably not.
Correct.
So outside of that, I probably want to try to do a winter preview show like I did last year with a bunch of weather people, but given the amount of problems I have with trying to get any people from television on nowadays, I'm probably not going to try at this point. Not worth freaking out and going crazy about that. But that was our escapade into Chaseland, where we saw chasers and then got chased.
Yep.
And what did Matt get out of it? A car.
A car and a heck of a story.
Yeah. And he got a stomach full of steak.
Yep.
From Longhorn. So outside of that, nothing's happened. And then I'm going to complain. Yesterday, I said on the show that has no tropical systems in the northern hemisphere. And I said, I'm probably lying now. Well, guess what? I am now, because there is a new tropical storm in the Eastern Pacific that was named today. Its name is Seymour. It's not expected to do much of anything. It may become a hurricane. It's going out into the Pacific. Who cares? I just had to mention that because that's the only excitement happening in the tropics between what happened with Matthew and Nicole doing loop-de-loops and whatnot. And a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And then there's the complaints. And you might love this. People are now complaining, well, the record for major hurricane landfalls in the United States is still ongoing because Matthew didn't make landfall as a major hurricane. Which is true. It didn't. It's true. Because it got within 12 miles of Florida. It never made landfall. So now you got weather people saying, well, now we need asterisks. Well, then what? It's almost like, okay, now we have to asterisk everything. Well, okay, this storm was an asterisk because this kind of made landfall. So now we're having the thing is, what constitutes a landfall? The western eye wall brushing against the coast, that considers the landfall? Well, if that happens, heck, there'd be some storms that were making landfall 50 or 60 times if it kept going in and out, in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I make a mention of this, if we constitute that as landfall now, I went back, because I watched old videos. I don't know why I'm watching old videos. Hurricane Kate in 1985. You're like, Hurricane Kate in 1985. That storm went right along the northern coast of Cuba. It kind of went inland and kind of out, in, out, in, out. It might have done it like 3 or 4 times. The full eye did go in and then came out. But it kind of like sort of did it for a few times. I mean, and then it went up and hit Florida later. But are we constituting storms if they're kind of just going along the coast? Are we counting them now? Oh, it's 20 miles out offshore, but we have to count it. I'm sorry, it's getting a little ridiculous. At least Nicole, when it hit Bermuda, it hit it. But
that's true. Hit the crap out of it. It hit it. They got hit hard.
So, and I saw some people that's like, we don't need to asterisk anything. It didn't make landfall as a major. It made landfall in South Carolina. And it was a category 1. Mm-hmm. And it was a minimal category 1 at that. Because it had weakened, because it had gotten involved with frontal systems and whatnot. And Nicole was strengthening to its east. It was, and they were doing all the. You look at the pattern of especially Nicole. It looks like it can make up its mind like a typical woman. Oh, I got myself in trouble.
Uh-oh. You're going to hear. The email is 1-800-JeffWilcox.com, ladies.
Well, I'm just making mention it was like they didn't make up its mind. Anyway, there's some guys that can't make up their mind either. Hint, hint. Anyway.
Oh,
so,
dang. Wow.
Anywho.
Good one.
So, and it seems like since then, now the Atlantic is boring. Because the next storm name would be Otto. Who wants Otto?
Otto?
Yeah, Otto. OTTO is the next name storm for the Atlantic.
Interesting.
What'll happen is now I'll have to go to Mikado's out here, which is MCOTTO. They have a thing there called the Otto. So it's like I'm not going and getting it, but because I'm going to want my oh god, I haven't had Mikado's in a while. I'd probably get my taco tater over there if I went over there. But anyway, so outside of that, rain is coming, which is why Matt's going to leave to go out of state. I don't know if Matt wants me to say where he's going. He's going far.
I am taking a little trip to Idaho.
He's seeing a girl.
She's a friend of mine. Easy.
Yeah.
She's a friend of mine. I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna hang out with her and her 2 kids, and we're going to go to
Canada.
A Halloween themed theme park. A Halloween theme park.
Okay. He's gonna
be fun.
He's gonna get spooked in Idaho.
This is gonna be fun. I can't remember the place it's here.
In fact, he did.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, he's looking it up.
Yes, Scarywood theme park.
Scarywood. This is
pretty good. This is an entire theme park dedicated to Halloween. Okay. Here's a list of the haunted attractions, and this is just part of what's in there. The first one is called 3 Dementia, where you get 3D glasses and you have to walk through this maze, and they call this a level 4 attraction. You will experience high decibel audio or intense audio, disorienting and dizzying visuals, and profane language.
Oh, profane language. This sounds like a place to take kids.
This place is 16 and older.
Okay, then it's for adults. It's adults.
16 and older. The next one is called Blood Bayou.
Oh,
and the description for it is: enter the bayou where the blood flows freely and cannibals lurk behind every corner. This fan favorite has been intensified for 2016 with all new scenes and updated scares that will leave you screaming at the top of your lungs. Come on in. The residents are friendly. And it is also a level 4 attraction.
Oh, more profane language.
Where you will experience extreme gore and disturbing images of cannibalism. Okay, that's number 2.
Oh, it sounds like the election.
Number 3 is called Caved In, and its description reads: step into the realm of the dark, where the sightless rely on their senses to navigate through the jagged cavern. A faint flicker of light and a spine-tingling breath fills the tunnels as you begin to wonder, is this cave alive? Intensified in 2016, Caved In might just put you 6 feet under. It is a level 5 attraction. To step up from the first 2, you'll experience low visibility, excessive or stifling fog, extreme disorientation, not recommended for those with asthma, and jump scares.
Yeah, that sounds like
That's
fun.
The next one is called Total Darkness. Welcome to your worst nightmare, your own mind. When the lights go out and the safety of seeing is gone, anything can happen. Back in 2016, Total Darkness has been completely updated with new twists and turns. Try not to panic as you make your way through this pitch black maze. So basically, they turn all the lights off. You cannot see the hand in front of you. So this is a level 3 attraction where you'll experience zero visibility and claustrophobic situations because in certain parts of the haunted house, the walls will close in on you.
Lovely. This doesn't sound like. Oh, there's more.
The last one of this part of the park is a level 4 attraction. This one looks like to be the most fun. Just plain fun. It's called Zombiewood Express.
Okay.
Hop aboard the Zombiewood Express. Take a zombie hunting expedition through the Silverwood backwoods with your guide, Sergeant Buzz, and his gang of zombie killers. There's nothing that makes Sergeant Buzz more excited than killing millions of zombies along the way. This will get messy. Not recommended for anyone under 17 years old. Heavy profanity on board.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds like yeah. But that's where Matt's going. He's going to get himself scared and gored.
Yes. And there's other areas too.
Oh my gosh, there's more.
There's these little areas called scare zones. You know, parts of the park where you're going to get scared randomly that aren't part of like an attraction or anything. There's one called Clown Town. Pretty self-explanatory. I will be avoiding that like the plague because, well, thank you very much, Mr. Stephen King. The next one is called Crime Scene. The smell of gasoline fills the air and screams come from everywhere.
Okay.
When you least expect it, he gives chase. The man they call Leatherface.
Okay. I'd give that guy a quick kick in the groin and he won't be chasing no more for the rest of the.
I'm going to take a selfie with him. My goal is to get a selfie while I'm at that park. My goal is to get a selfie with Leatherface.
Okie dokie.
That is my goal. And there's at least 4 more.
Okay, more. There's more.
But I will spare you those. But this is a very, 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 a very large Halloween-themed theme park. And there are even Halloween-themed rides.
Oh, we haven't gotten to the rides. I'm sure those are a real scream.
Yep. There's one called Real Scream. Ha, 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 ha. The first one is called Timber Terror. After leaving the loading station, you'll climb straight up the first hill, 85 feet in the air. Turning, you make the drop into the first chain of hills, provoking Timber Terror's well-known sensation of weightlessness. It's not over yet, though. As you head back, you will scream your way through another run of hills before roaring into a crushing 360-degree turn, finally arriving back at the loading station, all while facing backwards. The second one is Tremors. Since Tremors opening in 1999, it has been one of the top-rated wood coasters in the country. As you leave the loading station, you slowly climb up the first hill until you're 100 feet in the air. Turning, you make the first drop of 103 feet into a tunnel that goes directly through the Tremors gift shop, the first of 4 underground tunnels. You will continue through additional twists, turns, drops, and tunnels with plenty of theming along the way for those who are brave enough to keep their eyes open before finally returning to the station.
Okay.
Spin Cycle, this one sounds fun. It's the first of its kind in the world, a 100-foot tall 104-foot tall thrill ride with a cylindrical shaped vehicle that seats 24 people facing outward, with legs dangling and wearing only a harness. The vehicle rotates 360 degrees at 13 RPM, while at the same time swings like a giant pendulum all the way upside down 104 feet above the ground before bringing riders all the way around over and over again at 3.5 times the normal G. So basically you're pulling 3.5 G. Will you be able to handle it in the dark?
This doesn't sound like a place I'd want to go to.
Sounds fun.
Not me. I don't. Yeah, no.
And there's a bunch more, but I'll
There's way more. So,
but that's the big part of the trip. We're also going to try to go up to Glacier National Park and cruise around there.
And he's also going to go into Canada.
I doubt it, but I'm going to try.
So that's what he's going to do. Meanwhile, what am I going to do? I'm going to mow my lawn. And I'm going to mow my mother's lawn and then watch it rain for about 1 inch or 2 inches on Wednesday. So, yeah. So he's going to be gone about a week, a little over. Maybe. We're not sure. So that's what he's doing, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what we're doing. And I think Matt's audio died on him again. So and so I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. But anyway, so we'll try to do a show next week, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Because Matt will be in Idaho, scaring his pants off or something, and I'll be here bored. So we'll see what comes of it. So for Matt, who's hiding out in the boonies, or being in the Goonies or something, Jeff's here saying goodbye and have a happy week. And there went Matt. Yay, goodbye.